Alright, so over the past few videos, we've been talking a lot about stage display and theme editing and these different ways to send to different outputs. Stage display is just going to be for the people who are on stage. It's usually we're using a single feed of that, a single monitor in front of the stage. And this is just so that vocalists can see the lyrics, and so the preacher can see his notes and a countdown timer. So these are really helpful things that the audience will never see, but everybody on stage uses a lot. And ProPresenter has some really powerful stage display tools that we can use at our disposal. So let's just jump right into this. So over the past few videos, I've shown you that this icon here, this little arrow with a line through it, indicates our stage display. So I can actually show you what our stage display looks like. So this is what the people on the stage see during worship songs. So it's going to have the current slide. You make the darkness run and hide as the current slide, and it shows the next slide in the bottom half. They also have a clock telling them the exact time. So this is really, really helpful for them. That way they can get more into the worship, not have to focus as much on staring at the screen and catching the next lyrics as soon as possible, but they kind of have a sense of what's coming next and can focus on leading. We've shown you also that for a sermon, we have a different stage display. So this actually has a countdown timer in it, which I will show you how to set up. That's a separate cue, so we've got the stage display cue and then the timer, but the timer is also input into the stage display. So that's really helpful, and that just shows the current slide across the entire screen with no change in formatting. So hopefully the pastor is seeing, if we've set it up correctly, he is seeing exactly what the congregation is seeing, but he is seeing it with a countdown timer. And we can also, if you're here at the desk, you can send notes to that screen that will show up if something's going wrong. So let's just go into the editor here for stage display so I can show you all the different types of things that we have. So the way to go there, you go up to this bar up here that has the show, edit, reflow, and in this triple dot thing here, we've got stage editor. So that's going to be the stage display editor. And so this is where all of our stage display options come into play. So you can see here we've got the worship stage display. So that's what we've queued. We've set a queue for each worship song. We've set the queue for stage display. Wait for it to load. There we go. You can see under stage action, the stage display is set to worship. So what the worship one looks like in the stage editor is this. So this is one we have selected. It's called worship. We've got the time that is linked to the computer's time. We've got the current slide, next slide, stage message. You can add other things in by pressing this button. You can do a screen preview. So it's really awesome. So we'll go on to the next one. For the sermon, this is a screen preview of the projector. So we've actually pulled in what is being sent out to the audience, for the audience to see, the congregation, and we're showing it here. We've done the same thing with this multi-view, where we have a screen preview of the stage display, live stream, and projector. So we could send this all to stage display, but we really just need the worship and the sermon stage displays for the service. You can edit, if you click within one of these boxes, you can edit the font size. So if your vocalist or worship leader feel like they need the font to be bigger or smaller, then you can edit the font size and also the text style in here, as well as indicating if something's going wrong by changing the message here. So it's really easy stuff. It's already preset, and it links perfectly. This is just a linked box for the countdown. So we're going to show you now how to insert a countdown timer. So you don't need a countdown timer during the lyrics, but if the pastor is wanting to keep their sermon within 25 minutes, that's what we usually do, then you're going to want to put a countdown timer cue here. So after watching the previous video, you know about the audience look cue. We've got the stage display cue, which is now set to sermon, and that will cover the entire sermon. And then we've got a third cue that we're putting on this first slide, which is the countdown timer. So we can go to edit actions. If you're going to put it in, you go to add action, timer. Countdown 1 is what we usually use, but I will show you what it looks like. So this is setting a cue for start, so we've got it set to start. So when we click on this slide, the countdown starts. You can also have a reset one somewhere or a stop if you want if you want the last slide to stop the timer rather than letting it continue. Then this is where you'll go. You can put another cue at the end and set it to stop. But we want this one to say start. We've got the countdown. We allow the overrun here, so that means that once 25 minutes have passed, it goes, the letters turn red, the numbers turn red, and it starts counting into the negative. That just allows the pastor, if they do want to run over, which is fine, it allows them to know how long they've run over. And then you actually have to type in the number here. If you remember in the stage editor, this says 754 minutes, 56 seconds. Which is a ridiculous number to use. Obviously, we have no use for that, so in the timer countdown, we need to put in 25 minutes. So this has hours, we don't need that, but we do need 25 minutes and 0 seconds. And so as soon as we click on that, you can see it's already going. As soon as we click on it again, it starts over at 24 minutes and 59 seconds. So that is how you're going to edit the stage display if you ever need to, and also how to add cues. So theoretically, we've got a countdown here, countdown cue to start it. Let's go ahead and put in a timer cue, countdown cue here to stop the timer. So instead of staying start here, we're going to stop it. And that means that any other thing that has the sermon stage display, so it would be showing the countdown timer, it will have stopped by that point. So that's a good way to help the pastor out. Their last slide is the one that stops the timer. So that would give him or her an accurate reading of how long they've been preaching as well. So that is stage editor and countdown timer.